Hi everyone, my name is Beenish. I've been a journalist for over 15 years. I mainly cover South Asia. I passionately follow how democracies in that part of the world are changing, evolving, or backsliding. I also find the geopolitics in the region very interesting and how powers such as the US, Russia, and China interact with major countries like India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. In today's video, I will be talking about Bangladesh. Again, it's a country that I have extensively covered for the last 2 years, and I will be talking about what have been the most defining moments in Bangladesh in 2025. So let's dig in. Now, on my list, number one is Bangladeshi government announcing elections. The interim government of Muhammad Yunus announced that Bangladesh will hold elections next year on February 2026. Now, after last year's student-led uprising, the interim government of Muhammad Yunus took control and they made this big promise that they will organize free and fair election. Now, when it comes to election, there are two different point of views. Many people in Bangladesh are happy. They say that finally the country is moving towards democracy, that elections will be held and people will have a right to vote. But there are many other people and also human rights watchdogs such as Human Rights Watch. They have criticized the interim government because the interim government has banned a big political party, Awami League, the party of the former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Now they say that Awami League is a big political party and there are many people in Bangladesh who still support this political party, and because this party has been banned, completely banned from running the elections, and therefore when people will not be able to, and supporters of Awami League will not be able to vote for their party, this makes the elections not inclusive. Some political observers say that the interim government was under a lot of political pressure from other political actors to ban Awami League, because many of these political actors, many students and people in Bangladesh, they accused Awami League leadership of being behind the brutal crackdown on the student protests last year. According to the UN, 1,400 people were killed. So many of these political actors blame Awami League, and that led to a lot of pressure on the interim government to ban the political party. Officially, what they say is, for example, the interim government's law advisor Asif Nazrul has said that this decision, that is the decision to ban Awami League, was intended to safeguard national security and sovereignty, to protect the leaders and activists of the July movement, so the students who were involved in the uprising last year, and also to ensure the safety and witnesses involved in the cases against those people who the government accuses were behind the brutal crackdown on the student protests last year. It's important to point out that Awami League as a political party reject all allegations that their leadership, Sheikh Hasina or other people, were involved or were behind the people who were killed in last year's uprising. They also don't consider the elections to be legitimate. They believe that because they as a political party are not being allowed to run the elections, they are banned, and therefore they don't consider these elections to be legitimate. So there are very two different point of views with which Bangladesh is heading towards election, but the main thing is that Bangladesh announced elections and elections will be held next year in February 2026. Now, number two on my list is the signing of the July Declaration. This year, all major political parties signed on this document. July Declaration basically reflects on the aspirations of the July uprising that took place last year. Now, it has proposals such as that no one person can hold the office of Prime Minister for more than 10 years, which means that the document ensures that there is no concentration of executive power and that there is rotation in the leadership. It also has a proposal that the elections should be held under a caretaker government because the incumbent government can influence election results. Now, people in Bangladesh will choose that if they favor this document or not on the election day on February 12th. So there will be a referendum on this document, and if most people choose in favor of this document, then whichever political party comes into power will implement this document through legislation. The third on my list is the return of Tarique Rahman. Tarique Rahman is son of Khalida Zia, the first woman Prime Minister of Bangladesh, who passed away on 30th December. Tarique Rahman was living in self-exile in the UK for around 17 years. He said that he fled the country because of politically motivated cases against him by the caretaker government in power before Sheikh Hasina's rule, and he also said that there was subsequent prosecution under Sheikh Hasina. He called all of these cases against him to be politically motivated. Again, the government of Sheikh Hasina said though there were genuine cases against him, and they reject this allegation that they were politically motivated cases. Anyway, all of these cases are now gone, and he came back to Bangladesh this month, and when he came back, he was received by hundreds and thousands of his supporters. Now, many people believe that his arrival and his return can be he can be a unifying figure for the political party BNP, and also that he may be able to fill the vacuum created by the loss of Khaleda Zia. According to Protham Alo poll, Protham Alo is a leading English newspaper in Bangladesh. According to the poll, the BNP is leading in the polls, which means that Tarique Rahman could become the next Prime Minister of Bangladesh. So he is a very important political figure in Bangladesh politics now, and his arrival back in the country is definitely one of the most defining moments when it comes to Bangladesh's politics. Fourth on my list is the creation of the National Citizens Party. This political party was created by those students and leaders who actively took part in last year's uprising. Now, it's still a very small political party, and it may take them many years to become a mainstream political party in Bangladesh. But to keep themselves relevant and active in politics, they have formed an alliance with one of country's major religious political party, Jamaat-e-Islami. Collectively, it's an alliance of 8 political parties, and they are trying to give a tough time and to challenge BNP in elections. And a survey by US-based International Republican Institute shows that the gap between Jamaat-e-Islami and BNP is narrowing. So it's still very unpredictable what the election results would be. People of Bangladesh will eventually decide, but it seems that this alliance together want to challenge BNP in the upcoming elections head on. The last on my list is the killing of Osman Hadi. Osman Hadi was one of the leading figures of the protest movement last year, and he was killed this month in broad daylight. His killing shocked the country. There were hundreds and thousands of people who attended his funeral, and after his killing, many people in social media shared many of his videos. They were getting millions of views, and it seemed that his views on the kind of culture Bangladesh should have, on the kind of political system Bangladesh should have, and the kind of future he wanted for Bangladesh. His views on these topics did resonate with a lot of people. His killing also stirred anti-India sentiments. Some of his supporters accused that the suspects fled after killing Hadi, fled to India. This was a similar, the Bangladeshi police also gave a similar statement. India completely denied any involvement or of sheltering the suspects. And around the time of Osman Hadi, a Hindu man named Deepu Chandra Das was also killed by an angry mob in Bangladesh. The mob accused, there was false accusations of blasphemy on Deepu Chandra Das. And his killing stirred protests in India, where the protesters accused Bangladesh of persecution of Hindus. So these two incidents stirred tension between the two neighbors. That's all from my side. I hope this video covers the most defining moments for Bangladesh in 2025.